Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Starfleet Academy just dropped its mid-season stunner, Come Let's Away, and it has completely reset the board for the entire series. What started as a simple, routine training exercise, a lesson in teamwork, has now spiraled into a genuine catastrophe that have left many people dead, a hero in a coma, and a villain on the rise. This wasn't just another episode, it was a tragedy, carefully built from two of the most powerful stories we know, a Shakespearean romance and the grim, sacrificial spirit of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Now, Starfleet Academy's latest episode masterfully blends the star-crossed romance with the ultimate Star Trek sacrifice. But how does this modern spin on the needs of the many really hold up against the franchise's most iconic moments? I'm going to explore and break down the episode's tragic structure, exploring how a lesson in love became a brutal lesson in death, and what it means for the future of these cadets. I'm Will, and welcome to another episode of Seen a Nerd Presents Blur Trek. Now, this episode was written by Kenneth Lynn and Keely Rossiter, and it doesn't open up with phaser fire, but with intimacy. We find Caleb Meir and Tarima Sadal sharing a very quiet moment and a very intimate moment, taking the relationship that's been building all season to a new level. Their romance feels like a modern update on the classic Riker and Troy dynamic from The Next Generation, the charming human and the very empathetic Beta Z. But here, they push it even further, creating a shared mental sanctuary through Tarima's abilities. Now, of course, that kind of vulnerability is fragile. Tarima accidentally touches on a hidden trauma from Caleb's past that is a good callback to the pilot episode, and as he recoils, he calls her powers weird, just like that the perfect bubble burst. It perfectly sets the stage for a romance defined by risk and misunderstanding, which is the hallmarks of a classic star-crossed love story. Now, this romantic drama runs parallel to the main plot point, which was there was a joint exercise between the cadets at Starfleet Academy and the War College. These cadets are shuttled off to the ship graveyard for a simulated rescue mission on the USS Mizaki, a derelict experimental vessel that was lost when its new singularity drive failed. Now, Chancellor Aki calls it a lesson in teamwork and preparing for the unimaginable. Now, this ultimately sets the stage for what was a test of love and a test of duty. But nobody could have predicted just how horribly these two tests would collide. Now, the second the cadets step on the Mizaki, the whole mood changes. Director Larry Tang crafts a sequence that feels more like a horror story than a training sim. The derelict ship feels less like a classroom and more like a tomb. I mean, really, and once the exercise takes this really terrifying turn with the arrival of the Furies, the Furies are cannibalistic species of scavengers. So they jam all the systems, they board the ship, and they take the training team hostage. Now, these aren't mustache twirly villains at all. They're a visceral, nightmarish threat. The leader informs Captain Aki that they're taking the ship as salvage and will eat the cadets if their demands are not met. Now, this is a shift from the theory to practice, and this shift was very jarring and brutally effective, I have to say. The unimaginable that Aki just talked about became the reality. Now, the cadets, including Caleb and Biavi, are trapped on the Miyazaki's bridge, fighting for their lives. The Furies show they mean business by killing the leader of the team, Commander Tomov, and ejecting his body from an airlock as a gruesome message. Now, at this point, we all know that the simulation is over, and now it's turned into a desperate fight for survival, forcing the students to face the true cost of what a Starfleet uniform means far sooner than any of them were ready for. So, this true pressure cooker of fear and desperation that the episode's core themes really come roaring back. and it echoes one of the most famous moments in Star Trek history. As the cadets try to figure out a way out of this impossible situation, the War College cadet, who's a Vulcan named Biabi, calmly quotes one of Starfleet's most devastating principles. He tells Caleb that a famous officer once said that the needs of the many outweighs the needs of the few, or the one. It's a callback to Spock's sacrifice in the Wrath of Khan, and it's absolutely chilling foreshadowing. For most of the season, Biabi was set up as a rival, an antagonist to the main group. But in this moment, and in its final act, he becomes something else entirely. During the Furies assault on the bridge, Biabi takes a point-blank phaser shot meant for Caleb, sacrificing himself to save a crewmate. His death is instant, it's brutal, and is a stunning reminder that on this show, no one is safe. Biabi's arc is a tragic, condensed echo of Spock's, a reminder that heroism in Starfleet is often measured in sacrifice. But the episode takes this theme and gives it another painful twist through Chancellor Aki. Her long-running feud with the villain Baraka isn't just professional, it's deeply, deeply personal. And the famous axiom isn't a simple, clean solution for her. It's a crushing, crushing burden, a weight carried by those who have made the hard calls and have to live with those consequences. So, I have to ask you, at this point, this show just took one of Star Trek's most sacred ideas and gave it a new, raw, personal, and tragic new layer. What do you think of this modern interpretation of Spock's sacrifice? Let me know your detailed thoughts down in the comments, and if you're liking this breakdown, be sure to hit that like button and also make sure you subscribe to this channel. So, let's get back to the review. So, while the ghost of Spock gives this episode its philosophy, it is pure Shakespeare. Star Trek loves to channel Shakespeare wherever they get a chance to. And here, to me, the romance between Caleb and Tarima is a classic Romeo and Juliet story. Two people from rival houses, in this case, Starfleet Academy and the War College, whose love is tested by conflict. Now, the earlier fight left them on shaky ground, but Biabi's death shocks Tarima into action. She pulls Caleb into their shared mindscape for one last moment of connection before she makes a monumental choice. To save everyone, Tarima rips out the neural implant that has dampened her powerful Betazoid telepathic abilities for her entire life. And we got some more details about why she's been wearing that implant this episode. Now, with all her power unleashed, Tarima works with the team to get the ship's experimental singularity drive back online, and then once it's active, she uses her now unfeathered and unfiltered telepathy to overwhelm and kill the Furies on the bridge, saving the surviving cadets. It's a moment of incredible power that comes at an immense personal cost. As saving Caleb and her friends, she sacrifices a part of herself, falling into a coma. Her act transforms her from a love interest into a tragic hero. Just like Juliet, Tarima makes a dangerous gamble for love, and the consequences are equally devastating. Their story isn't just a school romance anymore, it's a tragedy about the high price of connection. Now, while all this is going on, behind the brute force of the Furies is the real architect of all the chaos that's going on in this episode, and that is Baraka. Paul Giamatti returns to the role with a performance that is both terrifying and wickedly fun. And in that moment of pure desperation, Starfleet makes a deal with the devil, contacting the imprisoned Baraka for intel on the Furies. But it was all a setup, and Baraka plays Captain Key and Admiral Vance perfectly. The hostage crisis on the Misaki was just an elaborate diversion designed to pull Starfleet's attention and resources away from his real target, which was a secret weapons station, J-19 Alpha. Now, while the fleets are dealing with the Furies, Baraka's allies raid the undefended station, still in advanced tech, killing many people and vanishing. And this shows Baraka's motivation and is a pure, bitter revenge against the Federation, and especially against Nala Aki. This is the woman who put him in prison some 15 years earlier, and their scenes together crackle with the energy of a long and hateful history. He savagely taunts her throughout the episode, demonstrating a personal cruelty that makes him more than just a villain. He is an arch nemesis. Baraka isn't just some pirate, he's a mastermind who just handed Starfleet a catastrophic defeat, making him now the most wanted man in the galaxy. So, Leto, Come Let Away changes everything for Starfleet Academy. The title, a quote from Shakespeare's King Lear, perfectly captures the tragic folly and sense of imprisonment felt by the characters. This episode masterfully balances a high-stakes action plot with deep character work, weaving Shakespearean romance and Rathacons ethics into a devastatingly effective story. The losses are real. Commander Tomov is dead. Cadet Biabi in the final moment of heroism is gone. And now Cadet Tarima lies in a coma. A hero who paid a terrible price. The optimistic school day tone of the show's beginning have been shattered. The Academy isn't just a school anymore. It's the front line, and Noose Baraka is out there, armed with stolen Federation weapons, and he promised a key that this is only the beginning. The cadets survived their first real test, but they didn't come back as heroes. They came back as traumatized survivors who just got a lesson, not in teamwork, but in death. How will this generation, forged in such a brutal fire, ever help to face this darkness that's coming for them? Let me know what you think is next for our cadets on Starfleet Academy. Again, give me your thoughtful comments below, and if you have been enjoying this review, please hit the like button. It helps with the algorithm, and please subscribe to this channel to never miss an episode of See the Nerd Presents Blur Trek. Until next time, live long and prosper.